Bobrovsky.
Kovalev beats Sergei Bobrovsky. You're an embarrassment to the department, Bobrovsky.
Sergei Bobrovsky gets burnt by Ross Colton thanks to his team just letting him hang out there to dry. I mean, if that didn't get the point through, I have actual live footage of the goal for you right now. And beware, viewer discretion is advised.
Kano wins. Fatality.
Ooh, flawless victory. It has begun. If you don't know that reference, then you're either too young or not a nerd. But wow, what a game. The Florida Panthers basically play a near perfect game against the Tampa Bay Lightning. The only problem is they're playing the Tampa Bay Lightning. And the Bolts are the Bolts, and this is the Bolts doing Bolts things. If you let the Bolts hang around, we talked about this in our pregame. If this game stays close, if the game stays within one goal, if the game stays tied, it's going to be the Bolts game, and they've proven this twice now. The longer you let the Bolts hang around, the more damage they can do, and this is because of Andrei Vasilevskiy. Vasilevskiy outduels Bobrovsky in this one, and there's nothing more you can say. Like, what more can you do if you're Florida? You basically threw everything but the kitchen sink at them. You don't believe me? We head over to moneypuck.com and we take a look at the deserve to win-o-meter, which is just a way of calculating who should have won this game out of 1,000 times. So out of 1,000 games, the Florida Panthers win this 6,100 times, or 61%. They deserve to win this game. It's not like Tampa Bay was out, but this is what you mean when you say. So you're saying there's a chance, and that is too much of a chance for the Tampa Bay Lightning when you have a guy like Andrei Vasilevskiy. That's why we play the game. That's why we don't battle this off the stat sheet. So Ross Colton breaks the hearts of Florida. And at this point in time, you can never call a series over or out, but it is an absolute dagger in the heart to lose 2 at home. And it's a real heartbreak because Florida's a good news story. They're a team on the rise. They finally exercised their demons getting through the first round. The only issue is they ran into the Bolts. So we've been saying this, and Bolts fans have been saying this. The Bolts themselves have been saying this. There are a lot of great teams in the NHL who have every component you need to win a hockey game. The Leafs had every component you need to win a Stanley Cup. The Florida Panthers have every component you need to win a Stanley Cup. The problem is, so do the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they're the Tampa Bay freaking Lightning. So if you're sitting there as a hockey fan, you come to watch this channel, you like excitement. We just saw what happened in the Battle of Alberta. We're going to watch Colorado, St. Louis, the Carnival Ride, the Dingers, the Gong Show against us later tonight. If you like compelling and interesting storylines, if you like things that can change at any moment in time, if you like unpredictability, then why are you watching hockey? Because Stanley Cups come in bunches, and teams like the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Colorado Avalanche, the New Jersey Devils, and the Detroit Red Wings have basically won every cup. Oh, I forgot about the LA Kings. Sorry. Have won every cup in multiples within a 5 to 8 year window. What's old is new, and the teams always end up coming back. So this is going to be Tampa Bay's cup until it's not Tampa Bay. And that is the heartbreaking story of hockey at times. You get all these great, amazing storylines and possibilities. And that's why when I see the comments, anything can happen when the puck drops. Can it? Can it really? Because it's the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I would say most people, regardless of their position in the standings, went, I'm picking the Tampa Bay Lightning. And so far, they're not wrong. The other challenge with this series and with this game is that Florida, and we talked about it the whole series on the way up, we got awesome Florida fans. They're talking to us in our Discord all the time. So if you're not talking to us in Discord, you got to get on Discord. The link is down below. We want to talk to you. We can watch a live game together. Why not? Through text, the way to go. Bunch of beauties in there. So shout out to everyone over there. Give me a big thumbs up as well. It helps to support the channel, Bolts and Panther fan. Then go ahead and subscribe to us so you don't miss anything when it comes to the game of hockey. This is probably one of the best channels there on YouTube, and that is me being as humble as I can be. So, and don't forget to go ahead and join our members page as well down below. It's a great way to get in touch with us. It's a great way to support your favorite content. It's even a great way to get a shout out in a video, or a great way to have a video made for yourself. So thank you to all these amazing members here on our channel. And if you want to thank us without joining the membership page, you can always go ahead and use a super thanks down below. But the old classic thumbs up comment, sharing it with your friends, and just being here to watch it is always the best. Now, a couple other notes about this game after I get off the Tampa Bay parade here, and I don't know what you guys want me to say. Like, I feel like I've come on YouTube here now for 14 months straight, and all we've been able to talk about is the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I feel like hockey has only been able to talk about Tampa Bay Lightning for the last 3 years, but the Tampa Bay Lightning have deserved it, and as much as you may not like it, especially since it's Battle of Florida, it just is what it is until someone takes it from them. So Florida is going to have to find a way to take it from them. But there's a couple interesting things that happened in this game before we break down tape. Number one, I have to say this, and if you disagree, that's totally okay. I mean, if you think it's cool or if you're an old school hockey fan, it's fine. But I think it's absolutely ridiculous that players warm up without a bucket. Corey Perry puts one off the post, busts himself above the eye, has to go in for stitches before the game. I don't know, man. The guy can count to soup, but I love Corey Perry. Actually, I think he's going to make an excellent coach in the NHL. I used to have an on-running joke with all my friends about Corey Perry, that Corey Perry didn't train hockey in the summer. He actually just went out into the woods like a good Canadian man and chopped wood because he was just so used to slashing players. So Corey Perry, one of my favorites in the league, playoff dynamo, playoff superstar, scores the first one in this game after taking one off his dome and having stitches on the head. I guess there's nothing more Canadian or more hockey than that happening to a player, but I just don't understand these helmets off, from Taylor Hall getting his whole face cut open to this little thing. It's just a useless injury to have. And to me, maybe I'm too boring of a business guy or just too pragmatic of a guy, but I sit here and go, you know, if I have $1 million players and assets and superstars in the stands, I don't know why I quoted them. They are superstars. They're amazing. But if I have that and I'm an owner of a team, I do not want them injured on stupid things like this, especially a preventable one like it. So one interesting thing that gets caught on the Canadian broadcast here by Elliot Friedman is the fact that Tampa Bay is holding sticks. And they are. You can see it. Here's Hedman ends up holding a stick. Here's Killorn holding a stick. Here's Killorn again holding a stick. Oh, and by the way, that stick hold actually resulted in a goal. Why do I end up bringing this up? Because cheating within the rules has always been a key aspect of hockey. They call it veteran presence. And this is what happens when you get older, you get wiser, you get smarter. If you can believe it or not, whether you do or not is irrelevant. Beer League coach Ryan D still play it. That's actually one of my favorite things to do in order to take guys to the box. It's greasy, it's dirty, works at all levels. If you hold the stick while on offense, very unlikely to get caught. However, very likely for them to take a retaliatory penalty, chirp you, or just to go ahead and impede them and be basically a wiener. So these are veteran tactics. They're not within the rules. A penalty should be called. The other teams are going bonkers about it. They should be. But this is how you play the game. This is how you get under team's skin. Like, you may not like it, but cheating within the rules has always been part of NHL culture and winning Stanley Cup. The other thing to note that came up in our Discord today, and maybe some of you know it, maybe you don't, was the too many men on the ice call. Now, too many men on the ice basically means you have too many men on the ice, which is self-explanatory. Thanks, coach. But it means you played the puck or made an attempt on the puck carrier. So if the puck incidentally touches a skate when you're making a change, as long as you're not making a play on the puck and it's incidental, it is not too many men on the ice. However, when you are making a change, if you have 6 or more players on the ice and you make an active attempt at the puck, regardless of whether you are changing or not, meaning if I'm on the ice and my partner Corey Perry is changing and I play the puck and there's 6 men on the ice, the hand is going to go up unless we are far enough away from the play, say the offensive zone, and they're back in the neutral zone making the change. Then the call won't end up happening. But if the play is in the neutral zone, while players are changing, and you make a play on that puck in the neutral zone with too many men on the ice, the hand is going to go up. Now, if you don't touch the puck and you just make a play on the puck carrier, say the opposing team has the puck and you go to check them, whether it's a body check, a stick check, or anything, if you make a check on that player, it is an automatic dead whistle and too many men on the ice penalty. It is equivalent to playing the puck. So just one of those nuanced, confusing rules in the NHL. A couple of our guys in our Discord were like, man, I feel dumb. I'm like, you shouldn't. They are very, very complex rule books. People ask about rules all the time on this channel because it's just what we love to do. There's 2 things hockey fans love: complain about the refs, ask about the refs, and, well, I mean, we're going multiple, but it's all about the refs. So complain about the refs, ask about the rules, and interpret the rules their own way. They also love to talk about line combinations and who's on what line because, like, It's just what we love to do. Those are the two hot topics in any group. But here's the secret about the NHL rulebook. Go ahead and read through it. And what it says is, at the referee's discretion, 150 million times every penalty at the referee's discretion, at the referee's discretion, at the referee's discretion, which means the referee can interpret the penalty any way he wants because it's his discretion. It's an easy out for the NHL. It's an easy out for players. So anytime we end up arguing penalties and I see them down below in the comments, I just go, at the referee's discretion. That's why you don't see me get too fired up about it on this channel. But just like you, every now and then we go down the rabbit hole. Before we get into the goals too, the other thing to note is both teams started their fourth line. This works well for Tampa Bay. And why it works well for Tampa Bay is their superstars need a little bit of load management. Guys like Stamkos, Kucherov, they've been around the game so long that they know how to get into the game on shift 2, shift 3. There's a lot of young guys on Florida. So Florida goes ahead and starts their fourth line. I don't like that. I didn't like it when Toronto did it and they started David Kampf instead of Austin Matthews because young guys like Barkov and the Huberdeaus of the world and Verhaeghes, they need to get in the game. These guys have been at the top of their game their entire lives. They need to touch the puck. They need to be in the game. They need to be skating. They need to start. So I don't really agree with being the more skilled team and not starting your best guys. Let them start Maroon. Let them start Perry. You're the home team. Take the advantage. Put Barkov out there. You should roast them with skill. The second interesting thing about the start of this game is the Florida Panthers threw hits like it was their job. I am the first guy to tell you I love physical hockey and I love the way the Tampa Bay Lightning play because I want to beat up opponents. But I'm the second guy to tell you that if your team is not built that way, you should not be doing that in the modern NHL. Why? Two reasons. Hits used to pay off. You laid a lot of hits in the playoffs and it ended up wearing out your opponents for later in the series. Not true anymore because when you start laying hits, what you do is take yourself out of position. When you take yourself out of position, you turn the game into, at worst, 4-on-4 hockey. If the hit you're throwing doesn't throw that player out of the play with you, you can put it into 5-on-4 hockey. And you've heard me say it over and over. To play defense in this league, you need to turn it into 2-on-1s. You need a defender and you need a puck supporter. And to play offense in this league, you need an offensive puck carrier and a puck supporter. But in a 1-on-1 scenario, the offensive player can have the advantage over the defensive player if there's no puck support. So you want to play with more room on the ice if you have the puck on your stick. That means when the other team is laying bod and turning it into, even if it's only for 1.5 seconds, a 4-on-4 situation, it favors the offense. You throw 2 hits in succession right back to back. You're playing 3-on-3, favors the offense, and so forth and so forth. So as a defender, the whole purpose of laying a hit is to separate man from puck. If the man has already moved the puck, you have a small window to which you can make body contact in. But if you're not a team that is going to beat up your opponents like the St. Louis Blues or the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Florida Panthers aren't. Spoiler alert, they're just not big enough to do that. Then what you're doing is taking yourself out of the play and you're giving an advantage to the offense, especially when you saw a guy like Mackenzie Weegar lay that hit early on Corey Perry. Perry ends up pointing at Weegar and hilariously laughing at him. And I think there's 2 reasons. One, he should have absolutely laid out Perry, and Perry's a big boy, so I guess he found that one out. And 2, Perry knows it. That's his job. He wants guys to take runs at him. Pat Maroon and Corey Perry 100% understand their role. Mix it up, get out there, and when you can isolate a player that's better than them, like Mackenzie Weegar, basically anybody that's not on the Florida Panthers first line, if they can take a coincidental 2-minute penalty, they're going to do it. Not a problem. As long as they go to the box with another Florida Panther, they win that exchange all day, every day. So Perry basically is a free pass to be the disturber that he is, and it works effectively for teams. But when you're the Florida Panthers with your fourth line, the Hornquist line, you don't want to be doing that because you want to beat them with skill. And I think everybody saw that basically from the first goal onwards by Florida. When Florida can play in the middle of the ice with their skill, they're untouchable. But what Tampa Bay is going to do is they're going to bring it to the boards. They're going to bring it into the muck. They're going to make sure that they support you properly. There was 25 hits in the game before there were 7 shots, and most of those were from Florida. That is not Florida Panther hockey. You're not going to win that way as Florida. You got to double down on your strengths. Your strengths as Florida is moving the puck, playing 5-on-5, using your speed through the neutral zone and creating 2-on-1 and 3-on-1 opportunities, but you cannot create odd man rushes when you don't have the puck on your stick. And you don't have the puck on your stick when you're running around throwing hits. And when you're running around throwing hits, you're actually creating an advantage for the Tampa Bay Lightning. It just goes on and on and on. So I'm not saying you don't want to play physical. I'm just saying if you're Florida, you do want to make sure that you know what your game is and stick to your game. And you also want to make sure that you're using hits to separate man from puck, because when you're smaller than the other team, and Florida is one of the smallest teams in the playoffs, and you're playing against a team that doesn't want to play a skill game, which Tampa Bay doesn't, they just want to play a close game like we saw here today, rely on their goalies, steal it, and get out. That's not the way you're going to get it done. So unfortunately, it didn't work out for Florida. I think he's getting out coached, to be honest. John Cooper sitting behind the bench kind of smirking, and Tampa Bay plays a near perfect game. I'm going to show you a prime example of Jonathan Huberdeau here laying a big hit and how it ends up taking you out of the play, and it ends up causing an odd man rush for Florida. So you can see exactly what I mean. That puck ends up going into the corner, and you can see Huberdeau is on this. Duclair behind, he's got it sealed off. You got a really nice 4 versus 3 here. Huberdeau wants to go ahead and pressure it, but he's not looking to separate man from puck. Puck is gone, well gone. What Huberdeau should have been doing here is taking a proper angle and fishing the puck towards Anthony Duclair. By taking an angle, if Duclair is able to stop this puck, Huberdeau can actually bump out quite quickly and be ready to score. That's what you're looking to do in this game. But unfortunately, by taking this hit, the defenseman's already done his job. He's moved the puck perfectly. And then Huberdeau ends up taking himself out of the game, which avoids a back check. So boom, big hit. Duclair misses the puck. It wraps around the boards. And then again, we see Florida getting way too cute here, pinching up. Defensemen don't want to pinch unless they are 100% going to get the puck. The old school dad mentality of hockey was get the man or the puck. No, get the puck. If you can't get the puck, don't pinch. So this is a bad pinch. And remember what I said, if you step up to try to make hits against guys that are bigger than you, look what ends up happening. Boom, roll off, no problem. Shrug it off. And what do you see here? Oh, look, an odd man rush. Now, conversely, I want to show you a very intelligent shift by Patrick Maroon. This is a big, heavy boy. This is the guy you want throwing hits. So when that puck moves down, look, are you ready? Are you ready? He doesn't hit him. That is big brain play level 1000. Why? Okay, he misses the check. What is the first thing Maroon does? 3 hard strides, gets to the middle of the ice. We call this backtracking. 3 hard strides to the middle of the ice. Track up, get on the right side of the puck. The right side of the puck means the puck is here. You now need to get between your goalie and the puck. So not only does he go right to the middle of the ice, not only does he not lay a hit, but he goes to the exact right spot so he can play defense and be part of a team game. What does that allow him to do? It allows him to now get on the right side of the puck to read the play. Florida moves it up the ice, and as they move it up the ice, now you're going to see Patrick Maroon thinking this through. He goes, I'm here to separate man from puck. Okay, bang. Man separated from puck. That is why you lay hits. So there are 2 prime examples of Jonathan Huberdeau just running around like a chicken with his head cut off, allowing a 2-on-1 one-way. And here's another example of a guy who plays on the 4th line and has won 3 Stanley Cups in a row and is on his way to his 3rd. Now you're realizing why this guy gets the money he gets to play on line 4. He may not be the most skilled guy, but he is big, he is tough, and he plays a near perfect game strategically. We break down a lot of goals on this channel, but I'm pretty proud of that one. Those were 2 good highlights to show the point. Corey Perry on the power play gets this one, but he ends up getting it because Stammer, the best shooter on the team, is sitting here in his office on the power play on the left-hand side. So the right-handed shooter ends up not taking the one-timer. That's the real key here. It is very simple to do the Aleksander Ovechkin, where we end up backing this up and you see Hedman just widening it. Look, it may have been a puck fumble. Sure, he could have taken a one-timer, but he doesn't need to. He just settles it down beautifully. And then instead of going back to Hedman, what you end up seeing him do is he just makes that little hesitation. This is the mark of a really good goal scorer. Makes a little hesitation with the puck, and then he ends up putting it on the ice. That's a slap pass or a snap pass, as you want to call it. It's not a shot. He ends up moving it along the ice, and you can see that it's not a shot because it resembles a passing motion. That's how good these guys are. That little passing motion allows Corey Perry to redirect it up and over Bobrovsky. And we can take a look at this angle here. I mean, I love these goalie angles. They're beautiful. So Palat ends up getting in front of the net. It's a great screen. Bobrovsky can't see it. You can see Stammer doing Stammer things here, which is awesome. I mean, again, Wait for it. He's looking at where he's going to shoot. Bobrovsky has to assume that shot is going to come short side. He cannot assume the pass to Corey Perry. So as a goaltender, he only has one job, and that is to assume the shot. That ends up being a beautiful slap pass that freezes Bobrovsky. And that only happens when you have a goal scorer with as much credibility as Steven Stamkos with his head up in a position like that, because the goalie has to trust that this is a shooting position. His feet are placed in the proper position. He's loaded up, ready to shoot, and this gives Stamkos a lot of opportunity. That's why being able to do this without looking at the puck is so important. You think every NHL player can do it that way? They don't. They look at the puck a lot. They may tell kids don't look at the puck, but very few players actually do it this well. That's why they're elite. Now, I want to show you another thing. If you want to know where I get my highlights from, I go to sportsnet.ca, and it actually lets you go play by play. What I want to show you is take a look at the first period. They only capture certain highlights. So they go play by play, and you can actually come here and watch the saves, which are in yellow, the hits, which are in red, and the goals, which are in blue. Look at this first period back to the hits. Hit everywhere. Everyone's running around like a chicken with their head cut off. Of course, it benefits Corey Perry. We get into the second period, and it's hit. Again, Tampa Bay is controlling the play. And then look what happens near the end of the second. Very few hits, only one by Radko Gudas. What ends up happening? Not only do they end up scoring, but they end up controlling the play. And as soon as they go back to running around, it doesn't go as well. Florida just needs to play a game where they worry about scoring goals. So take a look at the fourth goal here. You can see that line change in action. So he's going to pop off the bench here and skate out before the captain ends up getting off the ice. And he has to wait till the captain's fully off the ice before he can actually engage in the player. It's too many men. Remember, this is in the neutral zone. So he pops off the bench. He waits. No puck has come. Soon as those feet are off the ice, which they are, he doesn't need to be fully in the bench. Now he can receive that play and he can join and be an active player. You can also see what makes this goal so beautiful is the fact that Florida is doing Florida things, speed through the neutral zone. So you see an activating player kicking up late. You see the change that ends up back here, and he's allowed to carry the puck because both of these players right now are currently not in the play. So this is not too many men on the ice. As soon as that skate lifts, and you can see it just came up there, the first thing you want to do is get onside. As soon as you get onside, the next thing you want to do is drive the mid lane. That is going to give a lot of space for your puck carrier here to shoot. That mid lane is driven beautifully. You got to split the D. You can't go wide. You see a lot of players do this. That's a terrible path. It's got to be straight lines, and you got to go ahead and back up the defenseman. Now, some people may ask, why would you go down on one knee here? Doesn't this just screen the goalie? The statistics say that going down and blocking the shot is always the better play. So yeah, you might hear, if you're a Canadian fan, you might hear the old Don Cherry, get your stick out of the lane, let the goalies see it. No, you want to go down and block it. That is what you want to do. Statistically, that's the better play. Doesn't happen. Vasilevskiy makes one simple puck fumble. This usually doesn't happen. So it's just a little clapper that ends up going back in the net to equalize it. But this is what happens when you drive the mid lane. You get defensemen laying down, which cause screens. And this is what happens when you drive with speed. And you can see here on that still image that puck down. I mean, he almost had it. Puck is right here, but it does end up impeding a little bit of Vasilevskiy's vision. But I don't think that stops anything because Vasilevskiy here is in a very good position. He actually gets a piece of it. So this is on Vasi. He needs to be able to control that. It's a good goal by Florida. It's a bad save by Vasi, but how can you complain? This guy stole 2 games now. And then what we see here is Ross Colton, the absolute world beater. Unfortunately, he ends up all alone in front of the net. And we have pointed this out 10 billion times in this playoffs, not just with Florida, but with everybody. So yes, you go to your post. That's the way to go. What you actually need at this point is you either need puck support or you need everybody going to the house. And you can see everyone in Florida is going to the house. But you got to make sure that you're not going to these back posts. I have seen a lot of defensemen going to seal these back posts without shoulder checking. No one is looking behind them. You're supposed to shoulder check first. Someone has to shoulder check. Someone has to call it. Why? Because the goalie can't shoulder check for you. He has to find the puck. So somebody needs to be able to pick up the late man. They don't. And the late man's always the guy that burns you. I think we've seen at least 15 goals this way in the playoffs right now. Look at that no-look pass. Wasn't that vicious? Absolute no-look pass. 2 guys get caught behind the net. Why are you doing that? Hold your position. Bobrovsky has no chance here. When a puck and the goalie is actually looking to this post and it ends up going to the far post and over, he's got nothing. He's supposed to be on the goal line. This is what Bobrovsky's supposed to do. There is nothing Sergei can do. Bang! Colton is way too good to let that happen. Everybody's coming to the house. Terrible play by the defenseman there on the Florida Panthers. They absolutely let the goalie out to dry there and end up losing the game for the team. So there you have it, folks. I think John Cooper's outcoached them. I think the Florida Panthers' emotions have got the best of them. I don't think they should be running around and hitting the way they should. They should be focusing on their 5-on-5 game and looking to score. Their power play is still atrocious. It's the way to go. You got to get junk in front of Vasilevskiy like we saw there so you can go ahead and start scoring on them. There's a lot of alterations Florida can make to their game. If you're a Florida fan, don't be sitting there saying the series is over, it's done, that's it. That isn't true. It is in dire straits when you lose 2 at home, but this is why we play 4-game series. You can go into Tampa Bay, you can take 2. Florida is good enough to adjust for this. The question is, will the youth and the coaching and the Florida Panthers themselves, will the players adjust? There's a lot of people talking about coaches too, and I'm even talking about it, saying, the coach can't adjust this and that, and I don't think he can. But there is a possibility that the players just aren't listening either. Players always think they know better. They go by instinct. What has worked for them for the entire season, they're going to double down on and see if it works here. Teams like the Tampa Bay Lightning, wily veterans, they just don't do that. So they find ways to hold sticks. They find ways to bait you into penalties. They find guys like Pat Maroon that make perfect defensive plays and then blow you up with hits. And then they find ways to drag you into the muck in games they shouldn't win, and they shouldn't have won this one. And they find guys like Ross Colton in front of the net to do the old Kano fatality, ripping out the hearts of Florida fan everywhere. And hey, here we are. We'll catch you for game 3. Great job to the Tampa Bay Lightning.